Right behind me here is a very nice building. And in this building, I am going to do an estimate of how much has gone into this construction right here. And I have everything detailed right here in my book. And I'm going to break it down to you one by one. But before I do that, let's walk inside the house and show you every single details of what has already gone into this. The kind of work that has gone into it. The beautiful work that you see here. It's not a big house, not a small house, just somewhere in the middle. So yeah, let's do this thing together. I'm gonna put this thing aside for now. You can see a lot of details in here, a lot of details. You have the road, the transport, the cement, the black sand, black stone. But before that, let's look at the housing force. Look, it has a very nice height. If you look at this, you can see like 1, 2 and 3 blocks even before the ground beam. 1, 2 and 3 blocks before the ground beam. So that tells that this building is raised, they've given it a lot of height, and that means no amount of flood can happen around this area for this building to flood. And the lot of work that goes into it, the quality of work that goes into it, the entirety of this house is built on basalt. The concrete is built on basalt. You can see the basalt right here. Even the ground beam, look at it. The ground beam is here, but even the ground floor, this is the ground floor, this is the ground beam. You have the ground floor, and then you have the blocks right there. So look at the floor. This is even done with basalt, and this is very, very rare to see a building like this in the Gambia. And look at the pillars. It's using six pillars. 6 rods instead of 2. Like if you look at this other one, you can see this one is having 4, not 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, and this one is using 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And the pillar is really, really wide. This is about 20, is it 30? This is about 30 centimeter wide, just like the ground beam over here. And it is done solidly well. And I'm not sure with the length, but it's giving me about let's say about 18 to 19 meters in length, and the width is about 10 meters or 9 meters, yeah, something like that. But yeah, I'm gonna walk inside, but before walking inside, I would like you to look at the finishing itself. Not the finishing, but the block work is really, really nice. It's nicely done. The window is about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 by 3.5. Is good, decent size, and that is the parlor right here. But you can see they used two. It has 2 openings, 2 wide windows, and whether you use a sliding door or a door that sliding window or a window that opens like this, with these 2 it can still give you a lot of ventilation. And like inside, you can see another window right there, so it has a lot of ventilation over here. And look, even before you can walk into the house, you have to climb using this wooden over here. So that is the exterior on this part of the building. And yeah, the pillar is really nice. It's really nice. And above the window, they gave it like 3 blocks, and that is the standard here in the Gambia. 10 blocks from the ground floor or the ground beam. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The window will start from there. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Is it? Yeah, 7. Then 8, 9, 10. No, 10 here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Then you have the lintel. That is the window beam. From there you have 3 blocks or 4 blocks. Some will do 4, some will do 3. This one is doing 3, that one also do 3. But before walking into the house, let me show you. This building over here is 10 blocks. 10 blocks from the ground floor all the way to the last beam over there is 10 blocks. No, 13 blocks. 10 blocks from the ground floor all the way to the lintel. That's the window beam, and then another 3. 13, yes, 13. And this is exactly the same 13, but look at the height, completely different height. The height of that building is somewhere around the lintel or the window beam of this house. But because that this house is raised up, it has that natural height up beyond this other building, even though they all have the same block. But at the same time, this also means that this will take a lot of backfill, as you would see in my calculation shortly. So let's walk inside the building and see how it's like. But I really like how the entrance is designed. Okay, so we'll be restricted. Our movement will be a bit restricted because they have already started putting together all the ceiling work that will have to, the structural work to hold the concrete on top of this building. So yeah, in the next few days, hopefully if you come back here, or yeah, if I come back here, it will be that the ceiling will already be, or I mean the top floor will already be concreted. So I'm gonna do all that estimate for you, but before that, let's look around. You can see that is a very wide parlor right there, and you have a walk-in corridor right there. But the parlor is big. It's about almost the entire size of the width of the house. That is about 9 meters, maybe 10 meters. I think 9 meters. Yeah. So you have another window over here. You have a window right there, and one window, another window. So altogether 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Very nice design right here. And you have an arch right there. Okay, that is also done with a very nice cement to sand mixture. You have you walk straight inside. You have a staircase that will take you to the top floor, and on the ground floor over here you have the force. No, this is, I think this is like kind of like a kitchen with a very nice wide window. Okay, let's walk straight deep inside, and on the left side you have a bedroom of about, this is about 4 meter by 4 meters, and with a toilet over here. Okay, decently sized toilet. This is about 1 meter plus 1 meter 50, I guess, plus by maybe like 2 meters right there. 1 meter 50 by 2 meters, or maybe, yeah, 2 point something. This is like how many blocks? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. About 2 meter, 2.0 or something, 2.01 or 2.1 or something like that. But it's about 2 meters. Yeah, 5 blocks straight along their edges would be about 2 meters. So that is also another like a kind of like a storage over here. So we keep going straight. Okay, and this looks like a master bedroom over here. Very decently sized master bedroom with 2 big windows and an opening at the back, a door at the back. You have that looks like kind of like a store, or maybe a closet, closet for keeping clothes or something. And then you have the master bedroom or master toilet over here. Very wide, about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 blocks. This is like 2 meters by, yeah, 2 meters by about 4 meters, I guess. 2 meters by 4 meters, or maybe 2 meters by 3 meters. So if you walk down outside, you could see, oh, then you have the toilet window over here, and you can see how nicely the blocks are also laid right there. Okay, so if you move straight this other side, you can also see some of the window. And by the way, I forgot to tell you this one. You can see this one is having a plastic, and this plastic is called DPM, damp proof membrane. So this is what protects the building from having that damp smell and dampness inside a building. So now if the ground is wet, the water will be rising from the ground, traveling up to the blocks. But once it passes this ground beam that is on this side of the wall, once it's past the ground beam, the DPM right there, this plastic will block it from getting up, traveling down into the house. I mean the wall of the house. So you will not be able to see the dampness on the wall inside the building. Okay, so this would be the protector right there, and this is laid throughout. If you look from here, you go straight all the way over there, is laid, and from here it is laid straight all the way to the end of the building. So it will cover the entire ground floor before doing the ground floor. I mean, it will cover the entire building. After the backfill, you put this DPM to cover the entire floor before you do the ground floor. And the ground floor seems to be very thick. This is about 12, is it? No, this is about 14, 7. This is about 10 centimeter deep, or even 12. I think about 12 centimeter deep. I think the standard is about 12 to 14 centimeters. Yeah, some people will use 12, some people will use 10, some people will use 14. But this one is giving me about 12 centimeter thick, which I think is thick. And it's not just about the thickness, it is also about the material. Look, like I said, I showed you on the other side, it's a basalt ground floor. Very, very strong, very strong. If you're doing this, make sure you don't make any mistake, because you're gonna really struggle to break this floor to maybe do some other installation or something. But at the same time, it's gonna give you a lot of like strength. The block, instead of block sitting on this beam, that will give you strength. But this one also has that strength to be able to hold the block and make sure that, okay, no cracks are forming from the ground going all the way up. Okay, from the foundation going up, this beam will normally block the cracks. If there is any settlement done on the ground, this beam will usually stop the block the cracks. But yeah, so you can see this one also is serving as another layer before you have the blocks, and naturally is giving it that height that we are seeing translating into the height of the building right there. Okay, so now let's see somewhere. Let me show you on this other side. Lots of woodworks, construction sites are normally filled with this type of woods. Okay, so before we look into the book right there, the details that I have already put together, I'm gonna walk straight on this other side so you can see like how it is also done from this side. We walk straight, so you can see that is the DPM right there, damp proof membrane, very nicely done. We keep going straight. Okay, so if you wonder why sometimes some buildings have that height and some do not have the height, is usually from the foundation, the height of the building from the foundation, and then if whether it has this ground floor or not. Some would put the force block directly on the beam. Some would do the ground floor first before putting the building. Yeah, so yeah, so let's sit aside, sit somewhere and do the calculation right over here. All right, so if you look through here, you can see this is using 10-meter rod. So if I walk closer, you can see that this is using a 10-meter rod over here, but it is using 6, as I mentioned in the video earlier, 6 rods instead of 4, as you would see in some of the buildings. Example, the other one. So now if I do the calculation, you can see right here I have done the math. I will not go through the math again, but it's estimated that it uses like 120 10-millimeter rods, which is gonna be $450 per rod, and that would give me like $54,000 right there. So we have rods 12-millimeter. So now if I look closely, you would see that that metal, this one right here, the top beam right there, the top beam over there, I mean the topmost beam is using a 12-millimeter instead of a 10-millimeter. Okay, so now if I do that calculation, I estimated that beam right there and this other beam will be using 12. Some people will use 10 over here and also use 12 right there. So in this case, I'm not sure exactly what is used over here, but just to be on a safer side, I used 12. Okay, I used 12 for this other one. Hey, I like how you in the video. 12 over there. So yeah, that will translate to about 60. Okay, about 60, and each of the 12 millimeter will be about 640. That is the cheapest that you can have in the market, and 60 of that would be 38,400. You have the 6-millimeter rod. So the 6-millimeter rod is the one that ties the pillars together, and also you can see right there, that one right there is what is tying the pillar together. I think it's called starum or something. Okay, so I estimated that would take about 40 of that. Okay, and yeah, and each of the 6-millimeter will be 200. Wow, I have a lot of noise over here. Let me find somewhere else to sit. Hey, nice. Okay, it's almost prayer time, so I need to rush through this. All right, so if I look through the next one, I have transportation of these materials, which will cost you about $10,000. Yeah, if you do it all at once, it's a bit cheaper, but from Jimpex all the way down here, because the prices that I put here is the prices of Jimpex, so that would give you about 10,000 right there. Cement about 400 bags up to this stage, about 400 up to this stage, and that will give you and that each cement, I mean, would be 450 per bag. 450, and you can get a little bit more than that as well. So that would give me a total of 180,000. Cement, transportation, and labor, the eagle watcher, because there is something called eagle watcher here. You will pay for transportation, and you'll also pay for the labor to offload the cement from the ground, from the vehicle to your house. So if you look through here, you can see usually vehicles will be able to travel down into here, so the labor will not be that much because they do the calculation. Usually each block they will charge you about $20, $10, $7 or $10 depending on the distance to do the eagle watching. The sand, they're using Banjul sand. If you look through the blocks, you can see right there some shells, and even if you look closely around, you would see that most of the sand over here is Banjul. But right down the other one right there, that one is not a Banjul sand, so that will be somewhere around $9,000. Oh yeah, around $9,000. So I estimated it to have 5 bags of some 5 trips. That would be 52,500. You have the bricks, the blocks. Okay, about 5,000 blocks will be able to do a job like this. Okay, and each block, instead of doing the calculation on how many bags went to it, how many cement, but now I gave it the price of $35. That is the standard price that they sell 6 inches here, and you could see right there, this is 6 inches. Yeah, so if you have to do it yourself, this will be about $30 per block. I mean, the estimated would be $30, but now because some of the blocks, you can see some of them block will be wasted, some of them will broken, about 10% of the block will be wasted. So it's safer to just keep it at $35 per block. Workmanship, about $600,000 to do a work like this. Yeah, that would cost you about $600,000. A clean work, not a very big house, not a small house, but yeah, an estimated or roughly it would be about $600,000. It can be a little bit cheaper, or maybe, yeah, if you are able to get somebody who can do the work for you at a lower price, it can also be a little bit higher than this. Okay, so the plywood marine, you can see they are already doing some they're about to do the top floor, so you can see a lot of wood has gone into it. So you can see that they're using marine, that is a black one. They've also used some soft blocks, soft plywoods right there. That's a soft plywood, and those are used for, you can see right there, those are used for forming the pillars, okay, and the beams, the lintels. So you can see them over there. The prices for the marine will be 1,600, and the prices for the soft one, the soft 12 millimeter, will be about 2,200. But because they bought about 60 of the marines, and I estimated the soft one to be about 20, so the total is what I wanted to take. I take an average of 1,800. That will give me $144,000. So you have a plywood, 1x2 boards, 1x2. Those are these small ones that I use at the edges of the plywood right there. You can see right there that tiny recess over there is a 1x2. You can see also another 1x2 is over here, another 1x2 is over here. So yeah, about 100 of that. Yeah, about 100 or 1x2s would be used. You have nails, 14 kilos. Each kilo is $100, 1,400. Wheelbarrow, you might buy 2 wheelbarrow to do a work like this for the laborers and the masoners. Sometimes the masoners will come with their tools, their wheelbarrows, but yeah, most of the time you would want to buy 1 or 2 wheelbarrow to be able to subsidize whatever they have there. So the binding wire is about $450 per binding wire. About 8 of them would be required, or even more, but let's say 8. We don't want to overestimate over here, which is not a bad thing as well. So 1x12 boards, okay, by 12, that is this one right here. This is called a 1x12. This is not a 1x12, it's about 1x8, I think, but sometimes people use 1x12 to have a bigger, like, flat surface for wheelbarrows to be climbing, because you can see that's a very high bottom, so they need a lot of like that. They need a wood like that to be able to move in and also take the backfill inside. Yeah, so the compactor would cost you about $5,000. Water bills, about 60 days can get you a work like this. Even 30 days can get you a work like this. But yeah, because not that all the time funds will be available, so I have to make it like 60 days. And if you have to pay $200 per water per day, because sometimes people will charge you for that. You can see there's a borehole over here, and I could not see any borehole inside this house, so the borehole right here might be an It looks like it's an electricity borehole, so most people would say just pay me $200 per day until the work is done. So the bucket for the laborers, 3 buckets, each bucket about $500, that's 1,500. Oh, for the water bill about $12,000 is. You have the transportation right here. Transportation for these materials over here. This one's right there. The transportation, I bundle them all into one transportation. That is if you are buying everything at once, but if not, you'll need to pay a little bit more to do the transportation separately, or you can use your own vehicle. But even that, you'll need to be spending a lot more fuel going up and down from your home to the construction site. Blackstone, you can see everything that over here has been blackstone throughout. And you can see right there at the edge over there, I don't know if I can zoom in, you can see the blackstone is right there. So blackstone will be about three, yeah, two stone, two of the big trucks, the Romoroks, we call them Romoroks. So each one of them will cost about $100,000, is maybe 110, 105. Yeah, but I saw somebody who bought it for 100, so I'm gonna give it 100 here for 200,000. You have the DPM will be about $6,000, between 5,500 to 6,500. Some will even sell it at 7,000, but the average would be about $6,000 for a full roll. And this house will probably take, in fact, it will take almost a full roll right there. Backfill 800. I mean, you can have two type of backfills. Oh, my face has been awake for a while. 20 minutes. Yes, you can have two type of backfills. One of the backfill 10-wheel truck will cost you for 4,500 for backfill. If it is a double 10-wheel or a Romorock, yeah, that will cost you about $8,000 or 7,500. But to be safer side, let's say $8,000 per backfill. And because of this height of this building right here, I would give it I estimated 5 of the 8,000 backfill would go in there. That would be about $40,000. Backfill labor about $15,000 because they would charge per trip. A trip would be about $3,000 to take the trip from wherever you poured to push it with a wheelbarrow and drop it inside the house. So yeah, about $15,000. Acrojacks, you can see a lot of acrojacks over there. I estimated yesterday I counted about 300 acrojacks. I might be not fully accurate on that, but estimatedly 300 acrojacks are used. So each one of them, some would rent it at $3 per day, some would rent it at $5 per day. So the minimum right there is 3, which I guess you could easily get in the country. So that will cost you, I mean, because this acrojack will be here minimum for 14 days. You can see right here, these acrojacks are all set up. It will take some time to set up all these acrojacks. That will take you maybe like 3-4 days, even up to a week to set up all these acrojacks, to level them, to get your plywoods all leveled before even you start the work that would the work to do the concrete slab. So minimum it will cost you about 14 days. You will spend 14 days right there with this. In fact, this is gonna be the minimum, I believe, because right after you pour concrete on top of this, you have to allow it to get cured. You have to get it cured. Curing will take, curing of cement will take about 7 days minimum, and it will go up to about 14 days to give it a very strong, like to give the cement the time to get stronger. I mean, to cure and get stronger. So this is a slab and it's very heavy, so it will be advised to leave it there at least for another 7 days or even more. So if you spend 7 days to do the acrojack setup and maybe a day to do the concrete, it will take another 7 days before even you touch this acrojack. So I might even tell you to leave it there for a little longer if you don't need to take out those acrojack for any other purpose. So just leave them there and make sure that the top floor is cured properly. So I have a total of $1.5 million. So let's do the maths over here. Okay, we have 5,400 plus 3,400 plus 8,000 plus 10,000 plus 1,800, 180,000 plus 10,000 plus 42,500 plus 17,500 plus 600 plus 14400 plus 10,000 plus 1400 plus 7,000 plus 3,000 plus 3,600 plus 2,400 plus 5,000 plus 12,000 plus 1,500 5,000, then 200. That's a big one. 6,000 DPM. Backfill 40. You have 15,000, and you have 12,600. That gives me 1.586,400. 1.5 million, 1,586,400. Okay, so that is the estimate that I end up with, that has gone into this building. It can be a little bit more, it can be a lot more than this if you run into sometimes what a lot of people go into by those people that comes in here or to your house and believe that they deserve whatever that you buy for yourself. And that is the reason why we always advise that you get cameras, you get alarm systems, burglar alarm systems that would protect your properties, and you'll be able to see your property from any angle. And that's the reason why a lot of the diaspora is taking this camera from me. I'm gonna show it to you right here. And this camera is one of the most flexible cameras that you would ever be able to install in your construction site. It's able to take solar, it's able to take electricity, it's able to take power bank. The power is very flexible. And this is a camera right here. You can see it's a solar camera. I've already demonstrated in one of the videos. It's a solar camera. It takes solar, it takes electricity, and it takes only SIM card for you to be able to view your product, your house, from any angle, from wherever you are. You can see your construction site, and in fact whatever you want to hear from the construction site, because it also has an audio or a mic that will help you to know what's happening at your construction site. Even if it's at night, when somebody walk closer to your construction site or wherever you install the camera, it's going to alert you on your phone. And like I said, it is very flexible. You don't need to have electricity or wherever you want to install it to. Only a SIM card, and it has a built-in solar systems. Okay. Alright, so that's what I have for you today. Also, we have an alarm. Anytime you need a burglar alarm, let me know. Contact us on these numbers. I will make sure we provide all the services for you. This is what I have for you today. I hope you enjoyed this video. See you in another one.